Good morning. It is my honor to open up the Finance and Physical Resources Committee this morning. It is Tuesday, October 19th at 8:30 a.m. I'd like to welcome fellow commissioners, guests, staff, public that's here to attend the meeting. Welcome anybody who decides to spend some time watching this online. Thank you so much for taking your time to stay in tune with the county and what we're doing at the committee level. With that, I will go ahead and ask for a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Support?
Okay, we have moved by Commissioner Sparks, supported by Commissioner Breve to pass the consent agenda. Any questions or comments on the consent agenda? All right, seeing none, all those in favor of passing the consent agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. The consent agenda passes. That brings us to item number 2 on the agenda. Al?
Action requested. Recommend to the Board of Commissioners to accept $43,009 from the State Court Administrative Office for the Michigan Office of Highway Safety Planning Program's Hybrid DWI Drug Court and to appropriate $43,009 to the 2021-22 Special Project Fund budget and to authorize the Board Chair or designee to execute the agreement, approve extensions, amendments, and increases to the appropriation not to exceed 15% of the original award.
Motion.
Thank you. We have moved and supported, moved by Commissioner Womack, supported by Commissioner Wooden. Questions, comments, or discussion on agenda item number 2? Anybody? All right. Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion passes. We'll go to item number 3 from equalization. Al?
Recommend to the Board of Commissioners to approve the 2021 apportionment report.
So moved.
Support.
Everybody, come on, let's go.
We don't need a motion for this one, right? It's just a report.
Oh, no.
You've got a motion and support.
Report. All right. Got it. Okay.
And Matt
Matt,
Wilford's
you
here.
come up and make a, did you read through all those?
You don't need a motion for that?
No, there's a resolution, you need a motion.
Well, thank you.
Yeah,
Do you want me to read?
yeah, no, we need to read those for the record because there's people who watch this stuff and they don't know what this is about.
Morning,
All right,
Commissioners.
go ahead, Matt.
Thank you. Good morning, Commissioners. It's my privilege to be here today. Each year, the Board of Commissioners is responsible for two very important parts of the overall property tax administration under our Constitution here in the state of Michigan. In the first instance, and I came before you in May, you're responsible for approving all of the appropriate and legal values. Through your equalization department acting on your behalf, our team of professionals studies the market and validates the values every year, and each year we come and submit that to you. So the valuation part is a very important part of the overall property tax calculation. At this time of year, and equally as important, the Board of Commissioners plays a very important part in our constitutional framework to approve and make sure that all of the taxes that are requested by the taxing authorities in the county are lawful and meet all of the provisions of the Headley Amendment and Proposal A. And what I'm submitting to you today is a summary of our work that we have checked, and we have reviewed all of the submitted millage requests from all of the cities, villages, townships, school districts, and special taxing authorities. And we find them to be lawful and within the terms of the Constitution. And so each year, it's called the apportionment report. And the county acts as a historic allocation board to approve the millages of all of the various taxing authorities. So that is what I have submitted to you, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. But the equalization department, on behalf of the board, finds them all to be in order.
Thank you, Matt. Let's start with Commissioner Morgan.
Well, thank you. Old timer gets to go first here. So, hey, Matt, we talked briefly and you mentioned that Headley's in full swing now, and can you just kind of
Yeah.
lay that out for us. So I know we have some new commissioners here and how that
Yep.
works and how it affects,
Yeah.
our decision-making
Yeah,
here.
thank you,
So-
Commissioner. So there are two property tax limitation measures, the Headley Amendment, which was passed in 1978, and then Proposal A in 1994. Headley Amendment, a couple of years back now, the county lost any gap in its millage capacity, meaning that the county's millage rate is now fully limited by the Headley. So any growth beyond the consumer price index on an annual basis that exceeds the rate of inflation, the millage rate has to be rolled back. And so the millage rate for this year in the county was rolled back from our maximum authorized levy. So that will continue to be the case. The revenues still increase overall because the property value and new construction and uncappings, but our millage capacity on an annual basis from a rate perspective is being limited on an annual basis.
Thank you.
Yes, Commissioner Wooden.
Thank you, Chair. Two questions. One, building on what Commissioner Morgan asked about, our operating millage, does that have a sunset where we'll have to go back before the voters, or is it a perpetual operating millage?
We are a fixed millage county, so we passed ours on August 10th of 1982. And so that original rate was 4.8 mils. And it's limited today to,
We haven't raised our.
this year's is 4.185. So we've lost that capacity, but it does not have to go back before the voters. It could go before the voters if the board chose to, where you could essentially do a Headley override and restore it to that 4.8. But at this point, it's like a Chinese finger puppet. You can put your fingers in, but you can't really take them out, right?
Okay.
So that it's only going that one way, and that's done at this point.
And my second question, as you reported, there were no millages being requested by the local taxing jurisdictions that were seen as unlawful or unconstitutional in our eye and in the eyes of the department. Has that ever happened before in recent history?
No, occasionally, there might be a clerical error or something, and we will catch it, and that's why we go through the process with each of the business officials for all the school districts and taxing authorities. So I would say no, that's really kind of what our function is to ensure that that doesn't happen. Occasionally, even though the board will approve a millage, a clerk in a treasurer's office might hit a decimal wrong, and they actually levy an inappropriate amount. That's something other than was legally authorized. There are mechanisms to control for that, so essentially what they do is they make up the difference on the subsequent tax bill. So there has been a couple of those over the last 20 years, but that's very rare as well. It never goes more than a cycle where it's not caught and corrected.
Thank you.
Hey, anyone else? All right, seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion passes. That brings us to item number 4 from Fiscal Services. Al?
Recommend to the Board of Commissioners to appropriate $8,356.70 from program income for the Community Development Block Grant to the 2021 Community Development Federal Project Fund. CDBG funds in the amount of $8,356.70 were received from rehab loan payments. These funds will be put back into the CDBG program for similar projects for the program period of 2021, in addition to its previously appropriated program income amounts. Kent County Community Action is requesting an additional appropriation for the unplanned program income to the Community Development Federal Project Fund.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Support.
Okay, we have moved by Commissioner Breeze, support by Commissioner Sparks. We'll take questions and comments on agenda item number 4. Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That motion passes. That will bring us to public comment. Is there any public that would like to address the Finance and Fiscal Resources Committee this morning? Okay, seeing none, I will close public comment. That will bring us to Commissioner Miscellaneous. Is there any Commissioner miscellaneous this morning? Yes, Commissioner Morgan.
Talkative today. I
You?
had a
Yes.
brief conversation with Cal, and we're talking about supply chain and all the wrinkles that may cause later on, with some of our fleet and some of these things. So it's going to give Cal a big headache, so let's just be patient with him, and let's see how this unfolds. But pretty soon, it's going to start affecting the county and the way we purchase, so just to let you know.
Thanks. All right. Any other Commissioner miscellaneous this morning? Okay, before we adjourn, I'll just add that, Commissioner Bukowski?
I can't believe how quiet he is over there.
Did you, was that a hand to talk?
That was a non-American sign language to Commissioner Morgan.
Got it. So following the Finance and Physical Resources Committee, we will have our last Kent County budget work session at 9 o'clock. So we'll take a 15-minute break here and then start at 9 o'clock on our budget work session, which is a work session for the entire board. And with that, we are adjourned. Our next meeting is Tuesday, November 2nd at 8:30.